Hi there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Capital A Trading. This is my latest addition to the Forex Weeklies. This video is simply me analysing the markets, looking for the best opportunities and then bringing them to you, showing you what I'm going to do, and hopefully then you can follow suit. So again, if that sounds good to you, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner, stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content coming within the next month. We have a new beginner's guide course that will be free on the YouTube with about 10 to 12 lessons that you can go through. So again, be sure to check out for that. A quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Thank you for all your support. It's a very cool magazine. You should go check it out now. It's available in all Waitrose and M&S stores nationwide. With that being said, let's get straight into the charts. And of course, let's check the fundamentals for the week.
Okay guys, so as always, it's very important to start the week by checking out the fundamentals. And again, we get a good start with Tuesday's interest rate decision for the Australian dollar. So that'll be something that we look out for. So again, be sure to look out for the pound Aussie analysis. There'll be something that we'll be looking out for in there. Again, after that, I'm expecting a quiet week. The Canadian dollar's got some news here on Wednesday. The FOMC minutes in the evening for the dollar. Again, I'm not expecting too much, but there might be something that makes a little movement. And then after that, nothing really for the rest of the week apart from Friday, where the Canadians got their unemployment rate. So for Friday around the New York Open. So a few things to look out for. Of course, we'll be switching our interest into the Australian dollar and the Canadian dollar. And of course, I'll be looking at how that gold move has progressed from last week. So again, be sure to look out for them ones. Let's get into it. Okay, guys. So as tradition, I'll start off with the gold pairs. Now, these are moves that I mentioned last week. I spotted an area where we can see a piece of imbalance. We know the markets have been manipulated around that level and we've had a good push to the upside. So just this week going forward now, this is the gold USD and the gold euro. I want to see price rise up towards the 1810, 1820 level. Long term, it will be 1850. Only then would be focusing on the sell. So what I'm kind of looking at is how it's going to progress this week. And this is something that I'm advising you to do as well. Just kind of wanting to see price just moving a bit like this with that bullish structure still. And of course, I'll be looking at a possible retest off of that somewhere when price is just back at the low. One of them entries would be good. So if price continues to move like that, that's how I'm looking to see price go. So again, we're just looking to add positions to what I believe is going to be a longer term buy move. So that's the gold USD. And again, it will be the same thing on the gold euro. Very similar. We've had the price push from that area. And again, just looking at how it's going to possibly retest. So again, just looking now, maybe around the 1500 level would be a retest, 1495 just to be precise. And then the longer term target on this one would be around that 1540, 1550 level. So again, just be aware of that. That's the gold USD, the gold euro. Now, the next one I wanted to talk about was the US 30. This is an area that I've mentioned. I believe we are going to get a sell-off from it at some point, but now it's kind of just let me move the goalposts a little bit. So yes, I was looking for a sell around this imbalance here. It looks like it's going to the higher level. If this area gets broken, if that goes higher than there, the sell will be invalid very quickly. Okay. I want to see how price action is going to move. Is there going to be a liquidity grab? There's a lot of things to kind of focus on here. So again, the main one will be just seeing how we're going to get a progression from that area. The 3,500 is the key level that I'm looking to take an entry, but it depends on how price is getting there. I do want to see a liquid grab, obviously price going higher than that area and then turning instantly. If that doesn't happen, I believe we're going to be making new highs, invalidate the sell very quickly. So that's the gold USD, the gold euro, and the US 30. Check out for them. Okay, next up is the UK 100. For those of you who follow these videos, you'll know that I have been hunting down this now for ages and I'm practicing my patience. I'm not jumping in early. I can see it's been there for weeks, about 2 months now, actually. So what I'm still looking to see, and I'm going to just bring it down in the time frame, is I like the way price is struggling in this area. It's starting to fail to make the new highs, and it looks like we could get a big push to the downside. First of all, I'm just going to look at this area for this week. This is something that I mentioned last week. It's kind of stayed the same, but I just like how the price action below the area. So basically, there's lots of liquidity that's going to be building above here. There'll be lots of stop losses. So I'm looking to kind of see price just shoot into the area, shoot into my red lines, and then we get the turnaround. So again, it's around the 7,200 mark to be precise. Big move to the downside. Keep an eye on that. It's the UK 100. Okay, so this is obviously going to be something that I'm gearing up towards with a bit of fundamental news. So, of course, we've got that Canadian news at the start and the end of the week. So just be aware of that. That's the timing that I'm looking for the pushes. If I just come down to the 4 hour, well, let me just explain what I can see on the daily here. Of course, price has been manipulated around this area. You can see them bring it back, move down a little bit, and they're kind of stuck at this level. So I do believe we're going to get a more of a push to the downside. On the 4 hour, you can see where the manipulated price, they came back to it. So they're now definitely sitting there. And then of course, Friday, we had that push down for the CAD. So basically what I'm just looking at is the retest towards that area around the 124, let's say 124, 300 mark, somewhere up there. And then of course, if that does retest there with a news, I'll be looking to take a sell position. This is going to be one of my main focuses for the week. So keep an eye on that. It's the USD CAD. Okay, next up is the baby, it's the Euro Pound. So for those of you that follow me, you'll know that I've been annihilating the life out of this recently. Target, still believe it's going to come lower than this area, maybe even wipe the area out below the 85 mark. So we've still got a good 100 pip range, maybe 80 pip range to push down. If I just come down to the 4 hour, what I wanted to mention was an area that I mentioned about 2 weeks ago, and it's just been kind of playing with it, dipped into it, and then started to move. So yes, this area has been manipulated and is clearly playing off of it for sells. However, let's not be so naive. If it does come back, I believe it might come a little bit higher. So just be aware, what I'm looking for is to see this area get wiped out and then maybe the sell from the 86,300 mark. So just be aware of that. Again, there'll be lots of sellers in this market. There'll be lots of stop losses above this area. So just kind of let's see where they're going to go. Take the traders out, and then I can step in and hopefully we can see some profits there. So that's the Euro Pound. Okay, guys, next up is the Pound USD. Now, this is an area that I mentioned monitoring about 2 weeks ago, and it's now obviously finally there. So again, just understand your patience when it comes to trading. It's the 137 level, and it's just this buy area. So we are very bullish on the higher time frame. We've remained bullish. We are still intact with that structure. And if it is going to go, this should be the last point of call. If I just come down to a 4 hour, you can see how we've kind of just played off the area already that I've marked out. And I just want to see it come a little bit lower, hit that 137 mark. And then we've got a nice target around the 140, 141 level. So just be aware, it can be a very long-term trade. But once it hits this level and finishes what it needs to do, I believe it will be literally to the upside. It could even go and wipe out this whole area and make a new high, which would be a very, very profitable trade. So just be aware of that this week. That's the Pound USD. Okay, next up is the Pound Aussie. Again, this is going to be something that is geared towards that fundamental news. Of course, we've got the Australian dollar's interest rate decision. So this will be one of the main focuses. Listen up. Basically, what I was watching for last week was this area here around the 184, 200, 400. Yes, it dipped slightly higher. It's actually playing off of that candle there and that scenario. So as you can see, they pushed the market up, moved it down, and now they've come back to it. And that's when we get the sell push on Friday. So what I'm looking for now is the pound to start the week strong. That Monday, I want to see the pound push up somewhere towards this 184, 400, 600, 800 area. So we've got about a 40 pip range. It can go from the 185 level. So I'm just going to be monitoring this whole area, seeing how it looks around the interest rate decision. Tuesday morning, 5:30, we'll have to be up early. If we start to see price stalling in this area, just sitting here, be aware that an explosion may happen. It may take place. They may be pumping a lot of money behind the Australian dollar, and you're going to see the effect of that on there. So what we've got is an entry point, a nice area to enter the market, and my target will just be back down towards the 182 level. A nice 200 pip range, 250 pip range. So be aware of that. That's the Pound Aussie. That's going to be one of my main focuses this week. Again, another main focus, the Pound CAD. Of course, we've got some Canadian news this week. This is a trade for those of you who follow me, who I've mentioned this ages ago about being a sell around the 173 level. Yes, it didn't get there. It almost got there. It's actually played off of this scenario here and dropped, and it looks like it's going to make a new low now. I believe it will wipe this area out. So if I just come down to a 4 hour, it will be kind of about watching the structure. The best thing to do here with the news would be to obviously, let's see the pound get strong at the start of the week, that Monday, Tuesday, and then around the 171 level, 171, 200, I'll be looking at a possible sell for the CAD if it lines up with some news. So again, keep that one in your diary. That's the Pound CAD. Okay, next up, Pound Swiss franc. So again, we're going to be looking to see some pound strength at the start of the week. I still believe, looking at this daily picture, price has to come up to here. It has to do something around the 130, 129 level. So if I just come down to a 4 hour now, understanding that we still want price to go higher, this is a setup that I had in last week's video and it hasn't really changed. I'm still going to be monitoring around the 126,500 level for the buy, ride it up towards obviously the 129, 130 level, where we should, regarding the higher time frames, get a longer term sell push. So again, just be aware of that, monitor that area around the 126,500. If you can see the pound starting to stall there, take a buy push, and of course you know where it should be heading to. Keep an eye on that, it's the pound Swiss franc. Okay guys, the next one I want to bring to your attention is I can see the markets are being clearly manipulated around the 1.10 level here. So this is the euro Swiss franc. So again, this is the daily time frame. I still believe we've got a little bit more room to come down, just looking at that. And again, on the 4 hour, you can kind of see around this 1.1 level, the markets were manipulated there. We had a little piece of imbalance. Price came back to it. Massive move to the downside. And we're back again now, just underneath the 1.1 level. So that's the candle I want you to watch out for. I'm pretty confident I can see what's happened there. It's just below the 1.1 level. So let's say 109,800, 109,600, somewhere in there. I believe you're going to get a potential sell. Of course, we want to see the euro, like the pound, starting to start the week strong. Maybe Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, maybe when the London session closes, we can then start to see the strength in the other currencies. So again, just keep an eye on that. That's the euro Swiss franc. Okay, next up, NZDAUD and AUD Now, this is a move that I'm advising you kind of look out for later on in the week, because the dollar tends to get stronger Thursday, Friday. So I've still got the sell positions available here on the NZDUSD. It's around the 71,500, let's say 71,400 level. I'm looking to see price sell off from there. Of course, we need to see the New Zealand dollar start the week strong. So again, let's see price get back up into that imbalance level. Let's see what it's going to do around that candle. It can go from the 72 level when you look at what's happened there with the piece of imbalance. So just monitoring this area, kind of seeing where the sell's going to come from. We need to see that price pushing up there very early in the week if this is going to happen. So again, if that doesn't happen, invalidate the trade very quickly. And very similar on the Australian dollar, US dollar. Again, I want to see the Australian dollar getting strong, pushing up to this level at least. And then it'll be around the 77, let's say 76, 800 level where the sell could come from. That's the NZDUSD and AUDUSD. Okay, USD Swiss franc. Again, this is a move that I mentioned recently. And I just kind of want you to keep an eye out for two areas. Of course, I've still got the area around the 91 level, but I just like what happened here. I like this candle. I like what's happened, how price moved up and made a new high. So again, just be aware of the 91,600, 91,800 very early in the week. Let's see if the dollar is going to gain some strength off of that and push up and make a new high. So again, be aware of that as the USD Swiss franc.
Okay guys, so that's all from me this week. As we can see, there'll be some potential moves around the AUD and the CAD, and of course looking to see how that gold move progresses over the week. So monitor a couple of the opportunities that I've mentioned, see how they play out throughout the week, and again, let's see if you can catch some profit. Don't forget to subscribe, stay up to date with the new content that's coming soon. Don't miss out on that. And a quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Again, go check that out. Got my article on page 95. Stay blessed and have a great trading week.